On May 10, 2026, tens of thousands of people filled the Jawaharlal Nehru Indoor Stadium in Chennai. Cameras flashed, crowds roared. A man who had once dominated the silver screen for 3 decades raised his hand and took an oath, not for an award, not for a role, but to govern an entire state of nearly 80 million people. Thalapathy Vijay had just become the chief minister of Tamil Nadu. But in that stadium, surrounded by allies, supporters, and the actress Trisha Krishnan seated in the front rows, one face was noticeably absent. The woman who had stood beside him since before any of this fame and power existed. The woman who had quietly built a life with him while the world watched from a distance. His wife, Sangeetha Sornalingam, was not there. And neither were their children. Who is Sangeetha? Why was she absent on the most significant day of her husband's life? And what has been quietly unfolding behind closed doors for years? The answers are more complicated and more human than most people realize. To understand this story, you first need to understand what kind of man Vijay is in the Tamil-speaking world. Born Joseph Vijay Chandrasekhar in 1974 in Chennai, he entered the Tamil film industry as a teenager and spent the next 3 decades building one of the most devoted fan bases in all of Indian cinema. They call him Thalapathy, a Tamil word that means commander. It is not just a nickname, it is a declaration. Film after film, he delivered blockbusters that transcended language and geography. His movies from Gilly to Mersal to Leo drew massive audiences not just across India, but in Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Singapore, and among the South Asian diaspora worldwide. His appeal was rare. He was both the masses' hero and a man the middle class could trust. In 2023, he announced the formation of his political party, Tamilaga Vetri Kajagam, TVK. By 2026, that party had done something no one had seen in nearly 60 years. It emerged as the single largest force in the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections. Vijay himself contested and won from 2 constituencies, and on that May morning he was sworn in as chief minister, the first leader of a non-Dravidian party to hold that office since 1967. He was 51 years old. He was at the very summit of public life, and his private life was in pieces before the stadiums, before the political rallies, before the title of chief minister. There was a quiet courtship that began far from the cameras. Vijay and Sangeetha Sornalingam reportedly began dating in 1996. Sangeetha was not from the film world. She was the daughter of a Tamil industrialist from Sri Lanka, a family with deep roots in the Sri Lankan Tamil community and strong business ties to the United Kingdom. She held British citizenship. She was educated, quietly accomplished, and by every account entirely removed from the glamour of Kollywood. That contrast was part of what made the relationship so unexpected. Here was one of Tamil cinema's most talked about young stars, and he had chosen someone completely outside his industry. They registered their marriage in the United Kingdom in 1998. The following year, on the 25th of August 1999, they celebrated with grand wedding ceremonies in Chennai, one Hindu, one Christian, honoring both their families' tradition. It was, in every sense, a union that bridged worlds. Their first child, a son named Jason Sanjay, was born on the 26th of August 2000 in London. Their daughter, Divya Sasha, arrived on the 9th of September 2005 in Chennai. By all outward appearances, Vijay had what many people spend a lifetime searching for: a thriving career, a grounded partner, and a family to come home to. For years, Sangeetha largely stayed out of the public eye. She managed the household, cared for their children, and divided her time between Chennai and London. She gave Vijay the kind of quiet stability that few in his position ever find. She was not a public figure. She never wanted to be. In Tamil Nadu, Vijay's personal life had always been a subject of curiosity, but rarely of scrutiny. His fans adored him with a kind of unconditional loyalty that shielded him from the usual pressures of tabloid culture. Sangeetha was a known presence, but a silent one. She appeared occasionally at family events. She maintained a low-profile social media presence. Most of Tamil Nadu knew she existed. Far fewer knew anything real about her. That changed in 2025 when reports began circulating that the couple had been living separately for some time. Indian entertainment media, which had long speculated about the distance between them, began connecting dots in public. The name most frequently attached to the speculation was Trisha Krishnan, one of Tamil cinema's most celebrated leading ladies and Vijay's co-star in the 2023 blockbuster Leo. Those claims have never been verified by either party and no official statement has been made. What gave the speculation fresh momentum was what happened at Vijay's swearing-in ceremony. Trisha Krishnan was there, dressed in an elegant sari, seated prominently. Sangeetha was not, Jason was not, Divya was not. For millions of viewers watching the live stream, that absence said more than any statement could. For the first decade of their marriage, by most accounts, Vijay and Sangeetha built a functioning and committed partnership. The union required real sacrifice on Sangeetha's part. She navigated the demands of being a private person married to a very public man in a culture where a film star's devotees often feel an ownership over every aspect of his life. She raised their children between two countries. She managed family responsibilities largely on her own as Vijay's career scaled to unprecedented heights. She was, in the truest sense, the quiet engine behind the household. Their son Jason, now 25, went on to pursue film studies in Canada, carrying perhaps some of his father's creative instincts into the next generation. Their daughter Divya, now 20, has remained almost entirely away from public life, but as years passed and Vijay's ambitions expanded from cinema to politics, the distance between husband and wife, already stretched across geography, appears to have grown beyond repair. In 2026, what had long been whispered became a matter of public legal record. Sangeetha Sornalingam filed for divorce at the Chengalpattu District Court in Tamil Nadu. She sought to dissolve the marriage under the Special Marriage Act 1954, the legal framework under which their union had originally been registered. The court scheduled the next hearing for the 15th of June 2026. In her petition, as reported by multiple Indian media outlets, Sangeetha stated that she discovered in April 2021 that Vijay was allegedly in a relationship with an actress. She claimed that even after this, he continued to meet the individual in public and traveled abroad with her. The petition does not name the actress, citing privacy considerations. Beyond the infidelity allegations, Sangeetha described years of mounting emotional pain. That as Vijay's acting engagements and political ambitions grew, so did the erosion of trust between them. She stated that she and their children had endured significant mental distress and humiliation as a result. She also filed for interim relief, asking the court for legal protection to remain in their residence on Casuarina Drive in Chennai during the proceedings. As a British citizen without any other property in India, she argued she had nowhere else to go. Neither Vijay nor his team has issued any public response to these claims. The matters remain before the court. Around the same time, reports surfaced that their son Jason had unfollowed his father on Instagram, a small digital gesture that carried enormous symbolic weight. It was widely interpreted as a sign that the family rift ran deeper than the public had understood. As of May 2026, Sangeetha Sornalingam is believed to be based primarily in London, where she has lived for a significant portion of her adult life. She holds British citizenship and manages her family's business interests there. She travels to Chennai when required to attend the ongoing divorce proceedings. Their daughter Divya is believed to be with her mother abroad, though her specific whereabouts remain unconfirmed. Their son Jason is reportedly in Canada pursuing his studies in film. On the day her husband was sworn in as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, a moment that made history in Indian politics, Sangeetha was across an ocean in a city that has been her home far longer than it has been her refuge. She sent no public congratulations, she made no statement, she did not appear before any camera. The divorce case continues. There is something quietly devastating about this story that goes beyond headlines and court filings. Sangeetha Sornalingam gave up a great deal to stand beside a man in the making. She chose privacy when fame was all around her. She chose consistency when the world he inhabited was constantly shifting. She gave that marriage 25 years. And on the day the world celebrated him, she was not in the room. It is a reminder that behind every extraordinary public figure, there is usually a private story far more complicated than the image that was presented to us. Fame does not insulate a marriage from the ordinary pressures that unravel relationships, the distance, the silence, the slow erosion of trust over years. Sometimes it accelerates all of those things. Vijay is now the Chief Minister of one of India's most politically significant states. The world is watching what he will do next in office. But inside a courtroom in Chengalpattu and inside homes in London and Canada, a family that once quietly carried him through the years of his rise is navigating its own uncertain chapter. 2 questions worth sitting with: do we as a society hold public figures accountable for their private conduct, or do their achievements earn them a kind of silence? And what do we owe to the people who stood beside them before anyone else was watching? Leave your thoughts in the comments.